Hey friends, welcome back to another vlog. Today I am multitasking. I have quite a few things that I want to do and that I'm working on. So it's going to be one of those days where I'm kind of jumping back and forth between all of the different things as I, get to a point where I can like take a break from one, then I'll work on another and then go back to the other. So I've already started laundry. That is going now. And I did a few other things this morning, but now I'm kind of jumping into the rest of the day. So instead of me sitting here and explaining to you and showing you like everything that I'm planning to do, we're just going to kind of jump into it and I will show you and explain it to you as we're actually doing the things. So hopefully this video will motivate you, maybe give you some ideas, but let's go ahead and jump into the day. Okay, so the first thing that I am doing is I am going to actually do some prep work for dinner. And so I'm cutting up some chicken into like little bite-sized pieces. So first things first, I got to clean it up. Fun fact, I have kind of like a chicken aversion. I know that sounds funny, but chicken just skeeves me out. Like it really, really does. So I go through and trim off all the fat. If there's any like cartilage or tendons or anything like that, I get that out of there because oh my gosh, if I'm eating chicken and I bite into something like that, I am done. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just getting that cleaned up. And then, yeah, I'm going to cut these into bite-sized pieces. What I'm actually doing for dinner tonight is chicken bites with, it's like a garlic parmesan type coating. So you can really, honestly, you can use the coating with anything. I mean, you could do it on wings, you could do it on chicken legs, you could do, I mean, any chicken, you could do whatever you want, but we're going to do the chicken bites. So that's why I am cutting these like this. But I figured I could do some of the prep work, that way later tonight when it's dinner time, it's much, much easier. I'm also planning to make some from scratch mac and cheese. And then I'll probably do some broccoli to go with it. And then I would like to do some muffins. Depending on how much time we have, I may do from scratch muffins, or if not, I'll just do like a muffin mix. Either way is fine. If I don't do the muffins that I want to do today, the from scratch ones, then I'll just plan to do those tomorrow. So that's fine. Comment down below and let me know, what are you having for dinner tonight? Okay, so I ended up putting it in 2 pans because there was like more than I thought, and I don't want to overcrowd it because then it won't cook evenly. So I ended up splitting it into 2 pans. Now I'm just going to season it with some salt. And then it's going to go in the oven. Okay, so this is going to go in. I'm doing like 375. What I will probably do is bake it for about like 25-30 minutes and then get it out and kind of stir it and also drain some of the juices off of it and then put it in for like another 15 minutes. And then that'll be good. They'll be prepped for tonight. So then all I have to do is the garlic parmesan sauce. Okay, so while the chicken bakes, the next thing that I want to work on is I have this. This is a huge binder. I think this is like it's like a 3-inch or a 4-inch binder. And I have home management written on the front. So this binder houses a lot of different things that I would need for just like home stuff. I mean, it has everything from my laundry detergent that I make. That recipe is in here. Substitutions and things for like baking. So if I run out of eggs or something, like it's got substitutions, what can I use? It also has my chart for my like zone cleaning, which I haven't been doing the zone cleaning in quite some time, but I want to get back into that. So that's actually something else we're going to be talking about later in the video. But this binder, I basically have just like everyday useful things, but then I also have like some preparedness stuff, just for different situations. I am a naturally, like, I'm a planner, and I tend to be a little anxious. So for me, I want to know, like, if something happens, I want to know that I'm going to be okay. So some of the things that I have in here are just like small things that would be not necessarily like a natural disaster type prep, but like I have all of my important phone numbers written down in here in case something happened to my phone. And because honestly, like, nobody keeps phone books anymore. Like, nobody has that stuff. So all my important phone numbers are written down. So if something just happened to just like my phone, you know, let's say I dropped it in a river or something, it completely lost it. I have everything in here from like stuff like that to if something major happened, like a natural disaster, civil unrest, that type of stuff. It's all housed in this binder. Well, not everything. There's things I want to get put in here that I don't have in here, but it's like a work in progress. So one of the things that I wanted to do today is I have this that I wanted to add to it, and I just printed this off of the internet, and it is the EPA Emergency Disinfection of Drinking Water. And like I said, I just got this off the internet. It's 2 pages, so I can put this right in here, and that way if I ever get into a situation where I need to disinfect drinking water, now I have another step. And my goal with all of this stuff is to have multiple layers. So we already have a water filtration system. We already have disinfecting tablets. We have life straws, things like that. But it's like the old saying, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. The more layers you have of like this knowledge and whatever supplies, whatever you can do, the better off you are going to be. And I just feel like, I don't know, it's a good idea to have some of these things. If you, how do I say this? I don't want to like offend anyone, but if you're a person who truly thinks that like if something happened that like the government is going to come save you or that FEMA is going to come save you, I hope that if you were that delusional, I hope what just happened in Florida and North Carolina and all of those states, I hope that that opened your eyes, because the government is not going to come save you. FEMA is not going to come save you. So it is so important to have some preparedness stuff in place. Now, I know like some of the people, like let's say in North Carolina, it didn't matter what preparedness stuff they had in place. If their entire house was washed away, I mean, it doesn't really matter how prepared you are because it's gone. But a lot of the people, their houses weren't washed away, but they had no preparedness stuff in, you know, in their house. So even if their house is still there, they're screwed. Please make sure that you are as prepared as you can be. Obviously, we're a family of faith, so we do trust that God will protect us, and we do protect that, you know, He will provide. But we also feel like it is very smart, and He gave us brains for a reason to be prepared. And like if something ever happened in our area, you know, it may not just be us. Our neighbors maybe are not prepared. And the fact that we are, not only will our family be okay, but we can help other people also. So just, you know, just something to kind of put out there. For example, this is another example. So obviously, like I've talked about, like the drinking water. And this is super simple, you guys. Like this, you don't really even have to have a ton of preparedness stuff. Like this literally tells you how to do it by boiling, which means that all you really have to have is fire, or if you haven't lost power or something like that, you can use your stove. or if you have a gas stove. I mean, so people can boil water. And then also by using bleach, household bleach, I mean, which is super cheap. So these are super, super simple ways that you can be prepared. It's not like you have to go out and buy like a whole Berkey water system that's, you know, hundreds of dollars. So even just the small things, you know, to have something like this on hand just in case you need it. Hopefully you never will, but it's a good idea, I think. And then another thing that like is in this book, which I'll actually turn you guys around and show you in a minute, is stuff like a way to cook. So obviously we just had a wood stove installed. That was, you know, quite pricey. We had been saving up for that for multiple years. So before we were able to do that, because our house doesn't have any fireplaces or anything like that, I did purchase a butane camp stove. And then we also have grills that run off of propane. But then another layer of that, because obviously if you're in a situation where, you know, the butane runs out, the propane runs out, you know, what do you do? So I actually even have like instructions on how to make like a stove out of rocks or out of bricks, because we've since we moved in, like there's like this pile of bricks that we really haven't used for anything. So it's like we knew we had bricks. So if worse came to worse, we could build like a little stove out there with bricks. And I mean, worst came to worst, we could burn furniture if we needed to cook food. So again, you know, just layer by layer. And it starts with looking around at what you already have, because not everybody, especially right now with like the prices of everything, not everybody can go out and buy a bunch of stuff, but you would be surprised how much you already have, but you may not realize. So just a little, you know, just to kind of drop that little bit of truth out there for whoever may need to hear it. And the other thing is to just, you know, the world has kind of gone crazy, you guys, and there are some events that are going to be coming up very soon. I'm not going to go into that too far because I'll probably get flagged on this video, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But there's the potential for some civil unrest to be happening, some riots to be happening in the near future. So just kind of think ahead about that, and, you know, maybe take a gander around your house and just see what you've got. And if you need to get a little something here and there, it might not be a bad idea. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so this is the binder. So as you can see, I have like these little plastic sleeves in here to hold these, but here's rocket stove instructions. You can print this right off of the internet, and then I printed off multiple different ideas. This is one that you can build out of bricks. Another one, see, this is what I mean. This is one that uses 16 bricks. This is one that uses 30. So have multiple options. I mean, I just like ones with pictures so it's easy to kind of see. The light's kind of, there we go. Just so you can, you know what I mean, have multiple ideas. Like this one, they used like the cinder blocks, which we actually have a few of those too. You could use like the pavers or the cinder blocks, but see how they took the rack out of their oven and put it in there so they're able to cook. Simple things like that you may already have around your house. And they don't have to be huge. I mean, some of these are on the smaller side. So, but that's the kind of stuff that is in this binder. And today I just wanted to add that EPA drinking water thing. Okay, so it's added in. We're good now. On to the next. All right, the next thing that I wanted to work on is I have this paper that I did quite a while ago. This was done a couple years ago, and it's basically my zones that I break down my house into. And to kind of break this down for you, so what I wanted to do is to break my house down into zones so that I knew that I was deep cleaning every single room at least 4 times a year. Now, you could do this totally different. You could do, if you wanted to hit each room twice a year, if you wanted to do, 3 times a year. So basically, you just take all of the rooms and put them into like zones and then figure out like how often you want to hit it. So because I wanted to hit the entire house 4 times a year, I broke my zones into 3-month periods. So 3 times 4 is 12. So do you see how that works? I haven't been doing this recently, and part of it is because this used to work the way the zones are kind of figured out, but I kind of want to switch these out, like switch some rooms around. For example, okay, zone number 1 on this sheet is the laundry room, the kitchen, and the living room. Zone number 2 is the upstairs and the basement. And then zone number 3 is the dining room, the bathrooms, and the middle room, which is the room that the wood stove is in. That's what we call the middle room. But I kind of wanted to switch these things. Part of the reason is because in the month of November, we're actually going to paint the bathroom. So I kind of want the November room to include the bathroom because I also want to deep clean in there. And then also just, I don't know, just to kind of switch this up a little bit. So up here at the top, these are the zones. And up here, this says for deep cleaning, for projects, and then also for restocking. So this 1, 2, and 3. And then down here is kind of the calendar. So January is zone number 1. February is zone number 2. March, number 3. April, number 4. Or we go back to number 1. May, number 2. June, number 3. July, we go back to number 1. So I kind of want to redo this thing. And then once I redo this paper, it's also going to go into that home management binder. And that way at the beginning of every month, I know what rooms I am focusing on. So obviously I clean the entire house, like basic cleaning, like all the time. But this like zone thing is for kind of like deep cleaning. So things like wiping down walls, wiping down baseboards, and, you know, moldings. Like if it was in the kitchen, it would be cleaning out cupboards, cleaning out drawers, wiping down cabinets, things like that. So it's going above and beyond the everyday stuff. Even, you know, things like washing the curtains in the bathroom, it would be like washing the shower curtain. So basically I know that that is getting done at least 4 times a year. Now let's say you wanted to do twice a year. You want to do like a spring cleaning, a fall cleaning type of thing. Well, then you would break your rooms into 6 zones. Do you see how that works? So anyway, so I'm going to work on this, kind of reconfigure it, and then I'm going to type it out on my computer, print it out, and then we're going to put it into the home management binder. All right, so I just printed out the new zone cleaning. Did it a little bit differently. So since I told you guys, like in November, we're planning to paint the bathroom. So November is number 1. Number 1 is the laundry room, the bathrooms, and the living room. So that's why I kind of wanted to start there. The other thing to consider too is like for December, that's zone number 2, which is the upstairs and the basement. I purposely wanted to do the upstairs and the basement because for the month of December, we obviously are decorated pretty heavily for Christmas. So obviously I don't want to be trying to deep clean and wipe down walls and all of that and having to trip over, you know, decor and a Christmas tree and all of that. So for the month of December, yeah, it's just easier to keep in areas that aren't heavily decorated. So that is finished. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into the home management binder. The chicken bites are done. So I put those in to a little pan here. And then now I am making the garlic parmesan like sauce or coating or whatever. So what I have here is 4 tablespoons of olive oil, 4 tablespoons of butter, and 3 tablespoons of minced garlic. And I'm just going to heat that all. You want the butter melted, and then you want to kind of simmer it for like a minute or 2 just so that the garlic infuses into the oil and the butter. Okay, so the garlic butter is done. So I'm just going to pour it over the chicken. We're just going to toss that really good. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of Parmesan. And we're going to stir that really good. Now you could serve this immediately if you wanted to, Or what I'm going to do is, because I have it in this like casserole dish, I'm going to put this in the fridge, and then when we're ready to eat tonight, I will put it in the oven to reheat it. Just, you know, not long enough to dry it out or anything, just long enough to heat it through. And then I'll probably sprinkle on a little bit more fresh Parmesan, and then it'll be good to go. I ended up doing the mac and cheese off camera just for the sake of time, because I am running out of time here. So that is done now. So I was planning on doing those from scratch muffins. I don't think that's going to happen today. So I'll probably just end up doing these Martha White blueberry muffins to go with dinner. And then I will do some broccoli also. I still need to vacuum and the dryer should be done here in a few minutes, so I'll be folding some laundry. I need to pack my husband's lunch for tomorrow, so there's just a few things that I still need to get done. But while I was doing the mac and cheese, I also did one other thing, so let me show you what that was. Okay, so one of the other things that I wanted to get done today was I'm trying to get all of my recipes and things organized and like typed out and printed, and I have basically 3 books. It's a 3-ring binder for me and then one for each of my sons, and I'm trying to put all the recipes into there. That way I have all of my recipes in one place, and then they both will have all of like the recipes that I do, so that, you know, obviously they can make them and they have all that. So I was able to get 3 different recipes typed out and printed and get those put into the 3-ring binders, which was definitely a big accomplishment. So there was a few things that I wanted to do today that did not get done. That's okay. I'll just pick up tomorrow where, you know, I left off, and that's totally fine. It's always a work in progress. But for now, I am going to go first off and deal with the aftermath of making the mac and cheese. So I have to clean up the kitchen. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you very soon.